Hi learners, very good morning. Welcome to Unify Study. This is Thilasi doing paper 1 speed revision for this 15 days people development environment part 2. Yes, hope you would have enjoyed yesterday's sessions on PD part 1. Today we are going to discuss people development environment part 2. The must topics has to be revised. Even though if you are not aware of the topic, definitely the class which we are doing, it will be useful to you. Learners, those who have not subscribed, do subscribe and watch till the end. It's going to be very important topics with the current updates, current affair from the people development environment. Yes, shall we start the session? Yes, I came. Very good morning everyone. Shweta, in net examination, no calculator is allowed inside the examination hall. Calculator is not allowed. Yes, as that people development environment is said to be a dynamic topic because we will be getting current updates, current affair questions, so we have to be updated with these topics. Yes, clear. Okay, today we will start the session. And before starting, yesterday one learner was asking me a doubt on COP, right? The question from COP. See, COP means it's called Conference of Parties. If you take a CMS, that is a Convention on Migratory Species. For this particular convention, the first COP held in the year 1985 in Germany. First COP, first Conference of Parties meeting held in 1985. And the recent COP, that is in COP 14. Okay, the COP 14 held in the year 2024. Just know the difference. That is why I am giving you this. Okay, so the Convention on Migratory Species, first Conference of Parties held in 1985, and the recent COP 14 held in 2024. Then if you take another COP like CBD, Convention on Biological Diversity, for this the first COP held in the year 1994. The first Conference of Parties meeting held in 1994, and the recent COP, yesterday we discussed that one, that is COP 16. Right, and that was being held in 2024 in Cali, Colombia. Am I clear? Similarly, if you take a UNFCCC, right, UNFCCC means United Nations Framework for to Combat Climatic Change. So in that one, the recent COP, it was being held in COP 29. That too, see, COP 29. For some conventions, the Conference of Parties will be held 2 to 3 years, or every 1 year, or every 2 years, or 2 to 3 years. So it depends upon the convention. So if you take a UNFCCC, right, it was started only in the year 1992, but till now we have had 29 meetings. 29 meetings we had. Am I clear? Right, this is a COP 29 which held in 2024. So depends upon the conventions, right, the Conference of Parties, that a meeting will be held, the conference meeting will be held. Okay, clear? So one learner was asked this doubt, so to clarify that I have given this explanation. Hope this explanation will be useful to you. I think so. Now I have given for all the possible conventions, I have given you the COP. When was the first one happened, and what was the recent COP or the next COP which is going to be happened. So all these current affairs which we have given in the yesterday's class, those who have not learned, plus you can go and learn that one. Right? Come on, today we'll move to the next very important must topic from people development environment is pollution. So pollution, that too, they concentrate more on the air pollution, and we have water pollution. Topics are must, we are getting question. Ma'am, PYQ sessions at 8 p.m. Mohammed Rasid, if you want to join the course, you can just visit Unify Study website. At the end of the class, the middle I will tell you how to join. Okay, right. So every day we are doing, and morning we had a mathematical reasoning in our Telegram channel. Okay, 15 days crash course, 15 days revision, and DI and RC has been uploaded in the app for the paid learners, and MR is set to be free for all in the Telegram channel. Link is being given, and in YouTube we are revising the concepts. So YouTube we are doing the concepts, and in the app we are doing the previous year question revision. Nearly 40 we are doing every day. Okay, yes, very good morning Sukanya ma'am. Okay, and evening we are doing nearly 40 PYQs. If you want to join the course, you can visit unifystudy.com website. You can give the basic details and register, and you can do the payment through the website. Okay, through app and website you can watch the classes, but payment can be done only through the website. Clear? Yes. So this very important concept with respect to pollution and act, please note down, all are most important. Last time we had a question from this. So we have an Environmental Act, as we all know, in the year 1986. We had 1986 Environmental Act. Similarly, we had a Water Pollution Act, Air Pollution Act, Noise Pollution Act, National Green Tribunal, Hazardous and Other Waste. Very, very important acts are there for with respect to environment. So see, the Water Pollution Act in the year 1974, Air Pollution Prevention and Control of Pollution Act in the year 1981, Noise Pollution Act in the year 2000, and then Environmental Pollution Act that we all know because of the Bhopal tragedy. The act was being passed in the year 1986, and the National Green Tribunal Act in the year 2010, and Hazardous and Other Waste. Yesterday we discussed hazardous. With respect to hazardous, what are all the protocols are there with respect to hazardous waste? We have a Stockholm Convention. Am I right? We have a Stockholm Convention with respect to hazardous waste. Clear? Right? And apart, this is with respect to POP, persistent organic pollutant. With respect to hazardous, we have a BRS, that is Basel, Rotterdam and Stockholm. Am I clear? Yes, very good, Sri. Very good, very good. This specifically with respect to POPs, persistent organic pollutants, which are sometimes hazardous in nature. Clear? So note down the years one time, asked in chronological order. Next we move to the pollutants. Pollutants means what? It's a material in form of water, in form of air, in form of solid, which has been introduced in the environment and it is not good for the human beings, right? And that we call it as a pollutant. If you take an air pollutant, we have a primary pollutant and we have the secondary pollutant. Not only with air, with all the things, we have primary and we have the secondary pollutant. So primary pollutant means what? Where the impurity which are directly discharged from the source of origin. We call it as primary pollutants. Carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, NO, hydrocarbon, particulate matters. All these things we call it as primary pollutants. Don't worry, even though you are new to this people development environment, this is life, day-to-day life, we are facing all these things, right? So we can able to relate things, definitely we can connect. Okay, so whenever I say just try to visualize things, then you can easily able to connect to the topics. Okay, so now we are talking about the pollution which we see in our day-to-day life, in our when we go through road, when we go through transportation, right, when we go through aeroplane, when we go through train, whatever mode we travel, right, definitely there will be a type of pollution will be there occurring. So with that one I am talking about. And these primary pollutants, when they combine with the atmosphere, the secondary pollutant is being created. The most important secondary pollutants are PAN, peroxyacetyl nitrate, for photochemical smog, PHOTO, photochemical smog and formaldehyde. These are the major secondary pollutants being created when they have been interacted with the atmosphere. Atmosphere means what we have to take? We can take sunshine, we can take the water vapor which are there in the atmosphere, the air in the atmosphere. When these primary pollutants interact with the sunlight, water vapor or the oxygen in the atmosphere, right, they will be creating the secondary pollutant. So in the atmosphere there is not only water vapor, not only oxygen, we also have nitrogen, N2 is also there. When they combine with these molecules and they are creating the secondary pollutants and that are harmful to human beings. Am I clear? Right? So you have to be aware of what are the primary pollutants. You have to be aware of what are the secondary pollutants. Okay, very important one. So the secondary pollutants, how they have created? They have created when they interact with the atmospheric gases like N2, oxygen, water vapor, and when they interact with the sunshine, right, that is called photochemical activity. So through that the secondary pollutants are being created and that created gases are stay in the atmosphere for a longer time. How long they stay, right, that is most important, because as they stay, some gases emit more and more of heat. That heat has been trapped in the atmosphere and that is increasing the global warming. This we call greenhouse effect, global warming, all these terms. Am I clear on us? Yes. So now we go to the one by one gases pollutant from where it has been originated. Like that we are getting question. So carbon monoxide is a air pollutant, and which is being produced by cars, automobiles, by means of burning of the organic materials and by means of cigarette smoking indoor pollutant it comes, because see, by means of cigarette smoking, what can be happened over there, the carbon monoxide which we inhale, right, that affects the lung system. That is most important. What happens to lung system? Where we breathe in air, so air is also going, oxygen also is going, carbon monoxide is also going. What happens at that time is, when carbon dioxide is being intact with the hemoglobin, what will happen? The oxygen will not able to carry. That time our bloodstream air becomes poisoning. It will not happen in one day. Over a period of time, when we just inhale that smoking, right, where we have more and more of carbon monoxide is being into our respiratory stream, so that becomes poisoning, which binds to hemoglobin to reduce the oxygen in the blood. See here, as the that carbon monoxide is getting inside, what happens is, they reduce the oxygen level in the stream, that leads to respiratory problems. Am I clear, learners? Yes. Yes. Okay. So next we move to another type of where it has been created, from the indoor sources. That is most important. So what are all the indoor sources? What are all the outdoor sources of carbon monoxide? So see, this is a the indoor sources, they have been come from the unvented gas, kerosene heaters and fireplaces, no, that we have in home for in winter areas and all, we used to have the fireplaces, because when we burn the woods, right, through that there will be pollution may occur. And furnaces, tobacco smoke, all these devices are the source of indoor sources of air pollution. Other sources like generators, grills, power tools, lawn equipment, wooden stoves, they also release an air pollutants mainly of carbon monoxide. Okay, that is the main pollutant of indoor and other sources. Next we move to 1 minute. Next we move to sulfur dioxide. Very important. We are getting question from acid rain. Very oftenly we are getting from acid rain. What is acid rain? Why it happens? See, sulfur dioxide is said to be a primary air pollutant. When that air pollutant interacts with the atmosphere, like sunshine or water vapor or the oxygen over there in the atmosphere, they react and they create sulfuric acid, and that sulfuric acid is being coming here as an acid rain, and that destroys the plants and the water bodies and also the buildings over there in the places. So sulfur dioxide is the primary air pollutant, which is a colorless reactive toxic gas, and it's the major air pollutant, and that reacts with the atmosphere and they create the acid rain. So when that acid rain is being enter into the atmosphere, what happened? It corrode the, see, this is the important word, okay, it corrode the plant bodies, it corrode the water bodies there, buildings mainly. Taj Mahal is becoming yellow because of this sulfur dioxide, and that it turns into acid rain. It has been the discoloration happening there in the Taj Mahal. That is the important one. And we can also add one more thing, when we inhale that, right, which will be very corrosive to our lung tissue. Okay, that is also most important point in sulfur dioxide. Next we move to nitrogen oxides. Nitrogen oxides has been produced by means of burning of fossil fuels. Listen carefully. Here we have some natural source of releasing nitrogen oxides, and human made resources are there. So by means of volcanoes, by means of fossils, we releasing the nitrogen oxides, and it also creates acid rain. How, ma'am? Because the primary pollutants SO2, when they react with water vapor, right, they create H2SO4. Similarly, we have nitrogen oxides and they react with water vapor there and they create HNO3. So this creates H2SO4 and this creates HNO3. So nitric acid, that also comes in forms of an acid rain. Apart, what are the secondary air pollutants we have? Particulate matter, VOC. VOC means what? Volatile organic compounds, ozone, sulfuric acid, nitric acid. All these things are coming by means of interacting with the atmosphere. Clear? Right? So these are the very sources of the nitrogen oxides. Next we move to very important hydrocarbons and the particulate matter. What is hydrocarbon? See, hydrocarbon which has the compounds of hydrogen and the carbon. they mainly come out of incomplete burning and evaporated from the fuel supplies. Incomplete burning, if the wood was been the combustion process, during the process of combustion, okay, then incomplete burning particles, their hydrocarbons will be available. So that in terms they contribute to towards smoke, and they are also been coming from the automobiles and also from the industry. So these are all the sources of hydrocarbons, an important air pollutant. Next, very important is particulate matter. Just imagine, this is the size of your hair, one single hair. Okay, this is the size of your one single hair. See, this is the size of our beach sand, one fine beach sand, one single, not a group of one beach sand, the size is this one. Okay, the particulate matter is that more less than that size. You understand? See, this is the particulate matter 2.5. What is this 2.5? The diameter will be of 2.5 micrometer, and we say PM10 means what? It is particulate matter of 10 micrometer. And what is this 1 means? Particulate matter of 0.1 microns. You understand? See that you can relatively understand, there is a small thin hair is there, and this is the size of your hair, and this is the size of your fine beach sand. Less than that one will be the particulate matter, and that particulate matter emitted from where? They have been emitted directly from power plants, vehicles, construction sites. Because of the construction sites only, right, we have the air quality is getting more and more worst, because more number of construction is being done. So more number of particulate matters of very smaller size is being emitted out of these sources. So construction sites, indoor stoves and heaters are the main source of primary particulate matter. Apart from that, we have the secondary particulate matter, which has been emitted by the chemical reactions, including the sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide and ammonia. Very important, we have to understand this concept of particulate matter. We are getting questions. Am I clear? Yes. Next we move to, this is a brief understanding of indoor source, you can note it down, and outdoor source. So source of air pollution when it comes to outdoor, when we go outside, from where we can get? From volcano, transportation, automobiles, right? Automobiles, carbon monoxide will be there, and mining activities and residue burning, there also we have carbon monoxide. Industrial activities, we have forest fire. These are the sources of outdoor air pollution. When it comes inside the home, what are all the source of inside the home? We have perfumes, we use perfumes now, that is also a source of thing. And then we have the insect repel, insect spray we use, no, cockroach spray and all, that is also an indoor air pollution. Cooking activities, where we have the air pollution. And then burning of wood, that is a combustion process, right? During the combustion process, we'll be getting ash, we'll be getting the soot means the minute particles, right? Soot will be getting, and dusting during cleaning the home, small dust will be there. And then smoking, the main thing is the carbon monoxide, right? And apart from carbon monoxide, there are so many things are there in cigarettes. When I was studying about this, I think one class is not enough to talk about this one cigarette. So many chemicals are there, all are carcinogenic items which are there in one cigarette, right? Each and every component. When I was reading, I think one class is not enough to explain this, but I'm just concluding only with the carbon monoxide which we inhale out of that cigarette smoking. Yes, Ricky, right. And then wall painting by means of, there we have the aerosol solvent, all the thing, that is also varnish, right? That is also an important of air pollution. Okay, in the paint, and then when we go for solvents, there also we will be having that chemicals which will be harmful for our respiratory system. Clear? Right. Yes, Ricky, you are right. Radon is also an important indoor air pollution. Yes. Clear, learners? Clear? Okay. That too, radon has been from the nuclear activity. Radon from nuclear activity. Yeah, right. Very good. So next we move to very important another term that we use is photochemical smog. So before getting into photochemical smog, try to understand what do you mean by smog. Smog is nothing but smoke plus the fog which is there. So when they both interact, right, it becomes the smog. So the photochemical smog is created when nitrogen oxide and the volatile organic compounds, when they both react with the sunlight, they produce the secondary pollutant. You understand? So how it is being created, either they react with this nitric oxide or the nitrogen oxide which is being emitted by the industry, and then they react with the VOC at the presence of sunlight. In the presence of sunlight, they create this photochemical smog. See, there we have various options, NO, NO2, all those things with nitrogen oxides, oxides of nitrogen. When those oxides of nitrogen reacts with the sunlight and the atmospheric oxygen, they will be giving the photochemical smog. So these secondary pollutants, when they combine with the existing pollutants to form the smog, that is smoke plus fog. See here, ozone is also said to be a very toxic gas, and the both NO2 and O3, they both are said to be the oxidizing agent when they react with the unburnt hydrocarbon. What is unburnt hydrocarbon? During the combustion process, there may be something will not be fully completely burnt. So when they react with that unburnt hydrocarbons in that polluted air, they produce these following chemical reaction. No need to remember this chemical reaction, but remember what is being generated. They create formaldehyde, acrolein and the peroxyacetyl nitrate. This time we had a question from this one, that's why I gave you this. Okay, so it's a polluted air to produce chemicals such as, what are all the chemicals is being generated out of this photochemical smog? Formaldehyde, acrolein and peroxyacetyl nitrate, that we call it as a PAN. So when these things is being reacted with the atmosphere, then they create a chemicals called aldehyde, acrolein and PANs. Note down it very carefully. Yes, clear. This we call it as photochemical smog. When we say it is a photochemical smog is whenever it is being interacted with the atmosphere, with the sunlight. So then we have the photochemical smog. Okay. So whenever the nitrogen oxides and the volatile organic compounds. Clear? Yes. Okay. Can you please tell me the sources of VOC? Can you please tell me the sources of volatile organic compounds, from where it is being generated? Yesterday also we discussed the sources of volatile organic compounds. Yes, don't forget in home, especially in the indoor activity, volatile organic compounds is being released from the varnish. It is being released from the cleaners, from the paint. Okay, it has been released from the backyards. Exactly. Pan is equal to formal. Lakshmi Rana, pan is equal to is not formaldehyde plus acrolein. I didn't mention here. See, listen carefully. The polluted air to produce chemicals such as formaldehyde, acrolein and peroxyacetyl nitrate. Okay. Yes, tree, vehicles, varnish, paints, perfumes. Okay. After that, right, yesterday also I was telling to the learners in the app class, whenever we read all these topics and we go to restroom, we will feel scared, because we used to have all those things. Whenever we see perfume in our home, we will feel scared. Am I right? Yes. Aerosol sprays, all these things, room freshness especially, all these things have the volatile organic compounds, and those volatile organic compounds are very harmful to us. Yes. Yes. Next one. Yes, next one. See, all these things, from where it is being emitted is from the industry, from the power plant, from the automobile industries, from the oil tank, gas station, all these things they have been emitted. Okay. Yes. Nowadays not used, ma'am. Yes. We are becoming very aware whenever we read environmental topic. So these are the very important air pollutant given by the air quality, CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board. Okay. These are the very important air pollutants proposed by them. 8 important. That is PM10, PM2.5, nitrogen, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone, ammonia and lead. These are said to be the most important air pollutants given by CPCB in turn to measure the air quality index. So the government is measuring the air quality with respect to these important pollutants. So how much these pollutants are there in the atmosphere, with that only the air quality index has been done. So particulate matter 10 and 2.5, from where it is being created, what is the source? In short, I have given you vehicle emission and construction sites. From there these particulate matter is being generated. Nitrogen dioxide, from where it has been generated? Fossil fuel combustion. Fossil fuel means what? Again I repeat, when we just during the power plant in coal, in electricity generation we use coal, right? Fossil fuel, from there this nitrogen dioxide is being emitted. And then industrial process, during the metal refining and manufacturing, nitrogen dioxide is being emitted. Sulfur dioxide, from where it has been emitted? Again coal and oil combustion in power plants, industrial activity, the sulfur dioxide has been emitted. Generally I am given, please try to understand. Carbon monoxide, where it has been emitted? Easily we can remember our vehicle, what we use, right? From the vehicles, from the engines, from the indoor units like stoves. In older days we used to have stoves cooking, that carbon monoxide has been generated. And very important is said to be ozone. See, ozone is a chemical reaction between NOx and volatile organic compounds. Under the sunlight, this ozone is being generated. And then we have a vehicle exhaust and industrial emission, ozone is being generated. And from where ammonia? Very poisonous. Ammonia, lead are very poisonous. From agricultural activities, where they use fertilizer, where they use animal waste, right? From there this ammonia has been generated. And then industrial uses for chemical things, ammonia has been generated. And very important is PEP, that is lead. Recently also I have noted this point. Many industries where they have this particular usage of lead, so in there the industrial emissions will be done during metal smelting or battery manufacturing. Battery manufacturing we have lead, you know, right? When we discard the batteries electronic waste, there is a separate way of discarding it. We should not discard the battery in the waste what we used to burn. If you discard the batteries in the waste where they burn other things, right? Sometimes they are flammable, they are the way of discarding lead is different compared to organic waste. Am I clear? You understand? You understand? Yes? See, whenever the lead is in a form of very fine powder, that may lead to hazardous things can happen. Okay, because it's said to be a very heavy metal when compared to other metals. So when that batteries has been discarded in other things, it will be hazardous. Yes. Clear? Clear, learners? Noting down all the points, all are most important. I have taken only the important one. Clear? Yes. Okay. Gunashekar sir, suspended particulate matter is a type of particulate matter. Okay, they differ only by their sizes. It is a type of particulate matter. Suspended particulate matter will be of diameter of 10 micrometers or less than 10 micrometers. It will be less than 10 micrometers. Yes. SPM will be less than 10 micrometers, and that we call suspended particulate matters. When we say a simply particulate matter means there will be of different diameters will be there. Okay. So here this we call air quality index, very important. What we do in air quality index, according to those 8 air pollutants, the air quality is being measured, and those air quality index will be measured by who, means it was being done by National Air Quality Index, and it was being launched in the year 2014, with whom the government of India has been done, with the Central Pollution Control Board, with the Central Pollution Control Board, and the IIT Kanpur. They collaborate together with their experts, and they propose this air quality index based on these 8 air pollutants. Okay, these are air pollutants, and these are the air quality range. Noted on, very interesting question. We are getting question from this one. We have 6 categories, that is good, satisfactory, moderately polluted, poor, very poor, and then severe. So with these 6 categories, the air quality index has been determined across these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things, right? Particulate matter 10, particulate matter 2.5. No need to by heart all those things. You have to remember the 8 air pollutants which air quality index takes for measurement, and you have to remember this range of things where we segregate the levels, and we also have to remember the range. Okay, right? Yes, lead is a metal. Lead is a metal, right? It's a metal. Lead is a metal. Yes, Ajit. If I go means then I have to go deep into chemistry. Okay, right. So with this category, the air quality index has been measured. 0 to 50 is said to be very good. Satisfactory level is 51 to 100. Moderate level is 101 to 250. Poor is said to be 251 to 350. Very poor is 351 to 430. And 430 plus is said to be the severe level of air quality has been polluted. Right? Yes, polluted. So you have to remember the pollutants, source, and who have designed this air quality index, and what are all the air quality index range, and with what parameters they measure. This we have to remember. Clear? Now I move to water pollution. Very must topics. Last 2 to 3 exams, there is no question without water pollution. Very important. Even though you are not good in this topic, you can understand. Please do follow. What is water pollution? See, water pollution, when that water body is being contaminated. That can be in form of a ocean, that can be in form of a lake, river, groundwater, whatever it may be. When it gets polluted, then we will say water is said to be polluted. So water pollution can be done either directly or it can be done indirectly. So the directly, indirectly comes from that source, right? So how they are being polluted? The point source and the non-point source. What is mean by point source? There is a direct discharge into the water. Okay, directly into the water body when the discharge is being done means, then it's called point source. What do you mean by non-point source pollution means? Indirect discharge. Like if you take an agricultural land, it is a very big area, right? When the agricultural land is there, when there the water is being getting polluted there, and they are discharging it into things, right? So that is also a non-point source of discharging or polluting the water. It is indirect discharge into the water, like from urban runoff, like from agricultural runoff. All those things been mixing into the lakes and all those things, right? That also we call in non-point source of water pollution. Clear? Ma'am, please explain downstream, upstream when you are given mission. Mohammad Rasik, we are doing previous year questions in the app in the night session. In the evening 8 o'clock to 9:30 in the paid session, we are doing the previous year question practice. Okay, 8 o'clock to 9:30 we are doing every day. With respect to the topics which we discuss in the morning, we are doing the previous year question for the paid session. Right? Okay. So next we move to the important concepts of water pollution. Very must learners. Eutrophication, mesotrophic, oligotrophic. What do you mean by this eutrophication first? So it is a process where the water body becomes enriched with nutrients. You can just ask a question, ma'am, it is enriched with nutrients means it is good only, no? You can ask me. See, enriched with nutrients means in what purpose? The aquatic body, the plant body has been grown very well. So that is what it is meant here, is enriched with nutrients, leading to our excess of aquatic plant growth. How that aquatic plant has been growing very well there. See there, the runoff is coming from fertilizers, runoff and leaching, right? From there, nitrogen or phosphorus are getting into the water bodies, and from there what happens, right? And they are getting sunlight. Algae formation has been happening. Abundance of nutrients has been will leads to algal boom. So algae has been forming. As the algae has been forming, for them to decompose, they will take the oxygen from the water body. What happens in turn? The aquatic lives which are there inside the water body will lack of oxygen. They will not get the oxygen because the oxygen is being consumed by all these plant bodies which are there to do their process, to do their photosynthesis, to live. So they take all the oxygen, and these water body like fishes and all, they lack of oxygen and they will not able to survive over there. So this whole process we call it as the eutrophication. So the plant body becomes enriched with nutrients, and which leads to aquatic plant growth. Then what do you call mesotrophic? Mesotrophic means where they have the moderate level of nutrients, and where they can have water bodies, the plant bodies also will be there, and water bodies can also survive. That is called mesotrophic. Oligotrophic means what? It is said to be a deep lake of clean water, and no plant bodies will be there, and that we call it as oligotrophic. See here, this is an example. This is low oligotrophic, this is medium mesotrophic, high eutrophic, and this is very high hypereutrophic. Very high hypertrophic, how we determine, ma'am? So there is an index called the trophic state index. Note it down, we can expect questions, because they are going, before they ask what is oligotrophic, what is eutrophic, and then they combine to a match the following question. Then they ask questions in terms of statement based question. Now they can go more deep into it by asking these things. So here we have the trophic state index. Based on the trophic state index, they will say what is oligotrophic, mesotrophic, eutrophic, hypertrophic. Okay, so when the trophic state index is 0 to 40 means, then I will say the water is very clean. This particular parameter is done to measure the quality of the water. Okay, so oligotrophic will say the water is very clean, it is low nutrient content. And 40 to 50 means, say it is a mesotrophic, where it is moderately clear, the medium level of nutrients is present. When the TSI is between 50 to 80, then we say it is eutrophic, right? So high amount of algal blooms will be there. Here very important one is the degrees to oxygen level. So the oxygen level in that water body is said to be low. So right, so that the aquatic lives will not able to survive over there. And in 80 to 100 we call it as hypereutrophic, and this is highest algal blooms with highest nutrient content. Yes, right. So this is about the trophic state index. So what are the effects of eutrophication then? What will happen if the water body is having with high nutrients, or it is being eutrophic lakes where they have algal blooms will be there. As the algal blooms are there, they will be consuming in the oxygen. The fish will not able to live over there. As the fish is not able to over there, right, the ecosystem will be get collapsed. Why, ma'am, ecosystem will collapse? Because that fish is being dependent by another level of trophic level is there, na? So they will not able to get the fishes die. Then they have the reduced oxygen in the water. Why reduced oxygen? Because of the algal blooms, they consume that oxygen. There is a reduced oxygen level in the water. Next one, we have the noxious odors. The smell of the water will not be good. And high turbid water. What do you mean by turbidity? Means it will not be clear. See, this is called low turbidity, where we have a clear water. And see, this is we call high turbidity. You understand? This we call it as high turbidity, and this we call it as low turbidity. So these are all the effects of eutrophication. Clear? Right. So then we move to dissolved oxygen now. As we are talking about that oxygen, the quality of the water has also been evaluated by the dissolved oxygen in the water body. So this is a key indicator to measure the water quality, and is for the survival of the aquatic life. So I can say the amount of oxygen in the water, that will tell whether that aquatic life can possible or not. So there also we have a level ranges from 0 to 9. So whenever it is less than 4, right, it is not good for the aquatic lives to lead over there, right? How? Because whenever we say that particular level, dissolved oxygen level is 0, right, it is not possible for the animals to live over there. When it is 9, 8, 7, 6 and all, it is good for the aquatic lives to lead in that water because they have a good amount of dissolved oxygen. Here we have two terms we use, hypoxia and anoxia. Hypoxia means what? That dissolved oxygen level is said to be below 2 mg per liter. If the dissolved oxygen level is below 2 mg, then we'll say hypoxia. Means what? They have the low dissolved oxygen which is harmful to the aquatic lives. Anoxia means what? There is an absence of dissolved oxygen in the level, that is called anoxia. Note down the terms we use in dissolved oxygen because repeatedly we are getting questions from this dissolved oxygen. Right. So what happens with respect to temperature? When we compare the dissolved oxygen with temperature, as the temperature of the water increases, imagine there is a bowl of water or a lake or a river, you imagine, okay. So a river is there, the dissolved oxygen level, the temperature of the water increases, the amount of oxygen that the water can hold will decrease. They are inversely proportional. They are inversely proportional. So the temperature of the water increases means the dissolved oxygen level will decrease. What happened then? The resulting in the less oxygen available for the aquatic animals. Though that will be leads to not possible to live there. So dissolved oxygen is said to be an indicator of the water quality. High levels of dissolved oxygen will say it's healthy water, healthy ecosystem. Low levels of this dissolved oxygen will say there is a contamination or there is a decomposition of organic matter happening inside by means of plants. You understand? The decomposing of organic matter means what? Algal presence, plant bodies presence. So that says they are consuming the oxygen level, that is called low levels of this dissolved oxygen level. Am I clear, learners? Am I clear? So what happens when the temperature of the water is being increased, in the water body the oxygen will amount of oxygen get decreased. So that results in not able to live, right? The aquatic organisms will not able to live because they have less oxygen. Right. Clear? Right. So next we move to water. With respect to water quality, there are three important parameters. One is physical parameter, another one is chemical parameter, another one we call it as the biological parameter. Based on these parameters only, we will be talking about the quality of the water. So first we talk about the physical parameter of the water. Imagine, okay, try to imagine, take a glass, imagine that you have a glass, not this glass, a steel glass, transparent glass. So imagine you have a glass of water with you, and now we are going to talk about the parameters. Physical means what? Through my vision I can say, through my vision or through my sense organs I can tell about that water, how it is, good or bad. So that we call it as physical parameter. So when I look at the water, I can see some small solids like that, some dust like that. So I can able to see, that we call suspended solids. So the particles that remain floating in the water which reduce the clarity and the quality of the water. That's called suspended solids. Next one, turbidity. Turbidity means what? Because of that suspended particles, there will be some kind of, see like this. I don't know how to say that in English. Okay. Kalangal. We used to say in Tamil, right? Kalangal. So that we call it as turbidity of the water. Next we say color. What do you mean by color is, this water is, some water will be look very no colorless, some water will be like green in color, sometimes in brownish color, sometimes bluish color. Yes, have you identified? So that appearance of the water, right, this talks about the dissolved and the suspended substances. Simple example, if you take jeera water, how the color of the water will be? Jeera water will be something greenish in color, right? If you take Ajwin water, that will be in brownish color. If you go to Kerala, they will be giving you Padimugam water, right? They put Padimugam there. That will be pinkish in color. So that colors tells you about what? The quality of the water. Okay, that is called color. And then odor. Odor means the smell, which we able to smell. Then temperature. When we touch, we can see. The temperature of the water talks about what? What is the oxygen level is there, what is the biological activity taken place, whether I have heat to the water, whether I have kept it in the fridge. All these things talks about the physical parameter of the water. Next we move to the chemical parameter of the water. So chemical parameter where we cannot see things, where we have to experiment. The dissolved solids which are there, dissolved solids in sense of what? In sense of salt. the salinity, right? In sense of minerals, we cannot, looking at the water, I cannot say this much of minerals is there. So we have to do some kind of a chemical treatment or chemical methods to know what is the salinity of the water, to what is the mineral content in that water. I have to do some kind of an experiments there. And then we have the metals present in the water, where white metals and all you are telling, because sometimes during contamination lead can be from the groundwater. When I do, right, some contamination can be happened in the water, so metals can just get mixed up in the groundwater, that may lead to hazards. So that is called dissolved solids measurement. Next one we have the pH. pH means what? The hydrogen ions that are present in the water, which will tell us whether the water is acidic in nature, alkaline nature or neutral in nature. Next slide we will be seeing about this pH level. The next one we call alkalinity of the nature, because the water has to be whether it can able to neutralize the acid or not, whether it can able to maintain the pH level or not, right? That is what alkalinity of the chemical parameter. Hardness, very very important. Hardness of the water talks about the calcium and magnesium ion in the water, that will affect the water quality. Next important one is nitrogen, chloride and fluoride levels in the water, which can impact. Simple chlorine that we know, no, during some winter season the corporation will mix chlorine level. At a certain level it can be added to as a disinfectant, but what happen if you add more, what will happen? The taste will not be good, it is not good, right? So the chemical contaminants that can impact the water safety and the health. So how much chlorine is being mixed with the drinking water? Am I clear? Right? Yes. So next, this is the pH level, very very important. This time we had a question from this. What is the pH level of the rainwater? As we discussed in the before slide about acid rain. What happened with when there was an acid rain? Acid rain usually has the nature of corrosion. Okay, it has a nature of corrosion. So see here, the pH level of the acid rain is 4. Okay, acidity, that is what we call acidity. We are not supposed to drink the battery acid, sulfuric acid and all, we are not able to consume. Lemon juice, we will not consume it with concentrated way. We will dilute the lemon juice with 2 spoons of lemon juice, we will add 1 tumbler of water. Am I right? So that the pH level will decrease. So see here, vinegar and all, we will not consume a whole bottle. We will just add 1 spoon. For a whole family we add 1 spoon, not 1 spoon, half spoon only we will add. You understand, right? So those things will be having the acidity, high acid nature will be there. When you take below 1, where pH of the pure water is 7, right? And when you go down, where this is said to be basic in nature. Okay, when you go high above the 7, where it is acidic in nature. That to the clean rain will be having a pH, clean rain is 5.6 pH level. Am I clear? So when the acid rain is been increasing, what happened to the aquatic animals or to the plant bodies? As it has a nature of corrosion, they may affect the plant bodies. That's why at the level of pH 4, the fish will die whenever it has 4.2, because they are acidic in nature, they will be corroded, right? And then frog eggs, tadpoles, fish, they will die whenever the pH level is 5 in that particular water body. Am I clear? Right, very good. So next we move to hardness of the water. This time we had a question from this one. What do you mean by the hardness of the water? It refers to the amount of calcium and magnesium dissolved in the water, that we call the water hardness. Whenever we say water is a soft water, means the magnesium and calcium ions will be very less. Whenever the water is said to be hard water, means where the calcium and the magnesium ions will be more over there, and that we call it as water hardness. So this hardness of 2 types we have. One is temporary hardness, another one is permanent hardness. We had a recent year question, learners. Please take it as a term of revision. What do you mean by temporary hardness of a water? Whenever you take a glass of water, that water, if it has the magnesium and calcium carbonates in that water, then we will say the water is hard, temporarily hard. How that magnesium and calcium ions can be removed? They can be removed by simply boiling. That is why in those days our ancestors has told to drink water by after boiling, not to consume water as it is, because the hardness, these ions will be there, some kind of contaminants can be there. So when by means of boiling, when we drink water, that can be removed, the water will become soft water. But there are some cases where after boiling also the water cannot be purified. What can be done at that stage? We can apply these methods called Clark's method, Calgin's method, ion exchange method and washing soda method. Using washing soda, right? You can ask me, ma'am, what is these procedures? Simple. Imagine you have a water, how the water has been converted. That's all. Boiling method that we use in our gas stove itself. Clark's method means what? It is the hard water is treated with slaked lime or lime water to remove the temporary hardness. So after heating that water, we will be doing that filtration. The sediments will be, the solids will be settled down. By a filtration, we can take the pure water. And that is Clark's method. And then we have Clagen's method. They reacts with hard water and precipitates with salts, and it is easy to remove by means of filtration method. And then using the ion exchange method and by means of washing soda method. So these things can be used to remove the hardness of the water. What are the effect of this hardness? Simple. When you go and take a cloth like your good shirt or your sari or your salwar, go and wash it in a hard water. What will happen? The color may goes. The texture of the cloth may go because of the hardness of the water, because of the magnesium and calcium there in that, right? That may impact the color, that may impact the texture of the material, that may impact the things. Sometimes when we do use all these things, right, we will be getting some roughness will be there. You understand, right? So this we call it as the hardness of the water, which talks about the chemical parameter of a water. Clear? Right. This time has been asked. Boiling method, I use some lime, Clagen's method, then ion exchange method and washing soda. Through this we can convert the hardness of the water. Yes. Next we have the biological parameter to estimate the water quality. How? By means of presence of bacteria, helminthes, virus and protozoa. What do you mean by microorganisms which are there in the water which contaminate? They used to say it's a bacterial infection. You have drink water without boiling. That's why you have got fever. Right? That is bacteria. Helminthes means what? Some kind of parasitic worms will be there through the contaminated water. Worms will be there. And virus means what? Due to some of pathogen, waterborne illness can occur. Can you please list out some kind of waterborne diseases? Waterborne diseases. As it is winter, everyone is getting prone to cold and fever. Tell me some kind of waterborne diseases. Waterborne diseases. Quick. Some waterborne diseases? Yes. Right. We have diarrhea can come. Right. Diarrhea can come. Fever can come. Common cold can come. E. coli infection can come. Yes. All these things that have been caused by waterborne diseases. Waterborne diseases. Yes, very good. Cholera can come. Yes. Okay, clear. Very good. Next question. So these are the three important water quality parameters that we have. Okay, right. Next, very important, many a times we are asking questions from this biological oxygen demand and the chemical oxygen demand. I am not going to go more deep, but understand what is this. What is a biological oxygen demand? In organic wastewater pollution is measured. See, just imagine there is a lake which is being polluted. I want to measure the biological oxygen demand of that water body. So what I will do, it is the study of the amount of dissolved oxygen required by the bacteria which is there to decompose the organic waste in the water. You understand? Imagine a lake, it is full of, it is a little bit polluted. I just want to measure the biological oxygen demand of that particular water body. What I will do, I will measure the amount of dissolved oxygen level required by that particular bacteria to decompose into organic waste. So that measurement we call it as biological oxygen demand. So whenever we have the higher biological oxygen demand means, then we can say the water has a low dissolved oxygen level. Clear? So whenever the higher biological oxygen demand, because there is more number of algae is formed, more number of plant is requiring, automatically what will happen? The dissolved oxygen level will be low. Dissolved oxygen level will be low. And we have another method called chemical oxygen demand. What does it mean? It is also a method like what we do in biological oxygen demand. It measures the amount of oxygen required to oxidize the organic and the oxidizable inorganic compound in water sample in parts per million. Okay, it is a better than method for like to measure the pollution load in the water body. That is called chemical oxygen demand, biological oxygen demand. So you have to be clear with the water pollution means what are all the parameters to measure the quality of the water, and inside also I have explained you the terms. Be clear with the dissolved oxygen, be clear with the biological oxygen demand, be clear with the chemical oxygen demand. We are asking question eutrophication, mesotrophic, oligotrophic, temporary hardness, permanent hardness, all these things. Yes, clear? Clear. Next I move to very important, very easy one, noise pollution. We will not get that much of questions from noise pollution, even though if we get means we will be getting from the levels and we will be getting from the decibels and we will be getting in the range, and we will be getting most often problem because of noise pollution is what? Hypertension can come, heart attack can come, ear problems can come because of the noise pollution. So here above 85 decibel if it goes means, above 85 decibel if it goes means, then we will say it is harmful to the human ear. Okay, so over the period of time when we listen means what will happen? Ear problems can come. Okay, ear problems can come. So these are the ranges is being given with respect to each and every event with respect to the decibels, and here the limits of given industry, commercial, residential and silent area, sensitive or silent area, where the noise level in the morning should be 75, in the night should be 70, commercial area it should be 65, 55, residential area in the daytime it should be 55, in the night time it should be 45, silent area it should be 50, above in the night should be 40. Am I clear? Yes. Sorry, this is night. Please make an update, it's night. Clear? Yes. Very important one with respect to noise, these two things will be asked. Right. This is daytime, this is night time. Okay. So next we move to very important, take your pencil and pen, even if you have not written now, you have to write it. This is the current update as of November 2024. Note down the days. It is as per November 2024 released by Press Information Bureau regarding the renewable energy sources. This is the data as per February 2024. This is the data as per November 2024 with respect to renewable energy sources. What do you mean by renewable energy? What do you mean by non-renewable energy? Renewable means by means of I can able to renew another source through that one. Example, solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy, small hydropower, large hydropower, right? And then waste inclination, waste to the energy conversion. All these things we can create energy, right? So because India is shifting towards the sustainable development, in that one sustainable development we are focusing on solar, affordable energies like solar energy, wind energy. That way in February 2024 we have installed capacity of 183.49. Before getting into it, according to the government target, by 2030, the target has been increased to 500 gigawatts of energy generated through the renewable energy sources. Okay, how much? 500 gigawatts was been the target set by 2030. It has to be achieved. But according to now 2024 November, the target has been achieved to 203.1.8 gigawatt. Nearly we have achieved 47% of the installed capacity as we have set target for 2030 now. Okay, right. So as of February 2024, we have this is the comparison. This happened in 2024 February. You can note down this one. Okay. So the solar power installed capacity has been attained 92.22 gigawatts, and with respect to wind power, we have an installed capacity of wind power by 47.72 gigawatts, and with respect to biomass, we have 11.32 gigawatts. Small hydropower by means of water bodies, right? And then for that we have a 5.7 gigawatt. And waste to energy, converting the waste, recycling and all those things, right? Now with that we have same 0.58 gigawatts, no updation in this one. And with the large hydropower, it has been increased to 46.93. before it is 46.92, now it has been we can take again and again. Yes, 46.93 gigawatt of energy has been installed by means of Current update November 2024, renewable energy sources installed capacity. Okay. Yes, yes. So as per the government data, the renewable energy resource has been topped with Gujarat is said to be the topped one in the renewable energy resources. Gujarat. Gujarat is said to be the top, combining with all the energy resources. They are said to be the top in the generating or installing the renewable energy resources as per this 2024. So see here, this is according to India, it is 203.18 gigawatts of energy has been installed as per 2024. And these are the initiatives, proactive initiatives taken by the government of India, like National Green Hydrogen Mission, PM Kusum, PM Surya Ghar for solar grid, and the other PLI schemes for solar PV module, photovoltaic modules. For that we have so many initiatives has been initiated by the government of India, so that we can shift from using the fossil fuels. What do you mean by fossil fuels? Now we are using coal to generate electricity, right? So now we have to reduce the usage of these kind of fossil fuels, because it will it will not extinct at a point of time, because we are overusing it. So we have to shift in terms of future towards these non-renewable energy resources. For that we have so many initiatives proposed by the government of India, that is National Green Hydrogen Mission, PM Kusum, Surya Ghar, and other solar related things and wind related things, right? And this is the update regarding the renewable energy resources. So I hope today we have been very clear with the topics on pollution, especially we have done on water pollution, and we have done on air pollution, and then we have studied about the renewable energy resources statistics, current update. Okay, this is the current affair according to November 2024. Yes, learners, clear? Yes. So today evening we will be doing at the Unify Study app, we will be doing the previous year question session from the topics which we have discussed, and also other topics will also be there. We are going to discuss. Apart from that, the test series also been uploaded, topic wise test is also there. Learners, those who wish to join, you can just get into the website. You can get into the website and you can access the test series, very important previous year questions that we are practicing in the night. We can join. 1 minute. Yes, I will just show you the things. Am I visible? Yes. So you can visit Unify Study website. You can visit Unify Study website. Here the paid course, we are doing these things. Paper 1 complete course. These are the upcoming content. And the test, very important is the test. You can just do all the test, topic wise test we are doing. And apart from that, December 2024 folder, we are doing this last 15 days crash course. These PDFs will be uploaded here. This is the class that we did yesterday. The PDFs of the YouTube session and the PDF of the previous year question practice has been loaded here. And this is the next 15 days plan with respect to the last 15 days practice. And apart from that, we also done the June 2024 previous year question. That is also here, topic wise we have done. And those PDFs are also here with explanations we have done here. Okay, see the PDFs are available. So these are the contents you can get when you join the course, and you can attempt the test, live test you can do, and you can do the full length test. As I have told you before, 3 important things are there. The conceptual revision should be done, number 1. Previous year questions practice to be done, number 2. Number 3, mock test to be done. And every day DI is also being posted there, DI and RC everyone is doing. Learners, those who wish to join, you can just contact the number I will give you. You can just contact this number or visit Unify Study website 9942659836 to join the course, or visit www.unifystudy.com. Okay, right. Please don't waste your time. Do your revision. I have given the important topics. Even you are a self learner, just note down all the topics, prepare as per the current affair, and then practice the previous year question and try to do the mock test. Okay, don't waste your time, invest only time for your revision and doing your practice session. Okay, so see you tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll be doing the higher education. Okay, higher education 2 days. Tomorrow we'll start with higher education. Thank you so much, learners. Like the session and share with your friends so that it will be useful with your current updates. We will meet tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thank you. Ajit sir, telegram link will be given in the description. You can take it from there. There you can get the mathematical reasoning questions with solutions. Yeah. Hope you enjoy the session. Meet you tomorrow. Tata, bye.